It's your boy, the one Joey V.
This is Boss Dog Cigars.
This is Quentin Moore chilling in the Cigar Lounge. Have a drink with your boys and tune in. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm your local hero here again with another episode of Cigar Lounging Podcast. Here with my co-host.
B1, aka the author. Bring your problems to me.
Say that shit the fuck over there. Okay, so today we have a special guest here. If I was in our lives, you see she pops in our lives periodically. People who actually follow our lives, unlike the co-host down there. Thank you, everybody. We're at 1,200 followers now, so thank everybody for that. We're gonna be doing a giveaway soon. But I know we met you. We was talking to Ron, and you popped in, and ever since then it's been on and popping. We got Fatima, the model. She's in here. We're gonna talk some shit. So let's talk about how you got into cigars. That's an interesting story. Let's talk about that.
Wow. The way I got into cigars was by way of my late grandfather, Samuel Marshall. My grandfather, it's interesting, like a lot of our older Black elders, he started smoking at a young age, which, wasn't a good thing, but it was just the norm for this generation. So my grandfather told me how he started smoking cigarettes, was that he used to steal his mom's cigarettes, my great-grandmother's cigarettes. And she caught him and she spanked him, but it still didn't stop him. So by then, he, as they would say, he had the nicotine bug. So he would do cigarettes, but by the time he became, in his early 20s, he had been exposed to cigars. He wouldn't smoke them that often, but he would, smoke them here and there. And he also smoked the pipe. That was another thing that he liked to do. So being around my grandfather, I would see him light them up once in a while, but I never knew what it was. And I'd say, Pop, what's that funny brown thing you're smoking? Oh, this is a cigar, right? And I was like, okay. And what he would do, because you guys are about to laugh at this part of the story, was that he would ask the grandkids, he'd cut it, and puncture his hole, whatever. And he would get it lit, but he would ask us to puff on the cigar a little bit and then hand it to him. And this is what he would say afterwards. He would slip us like a $10 or a $20 bill, and he said, "Don't tell your grandmother," and then go outside and play. So he would bribe us to kind of light his cigar and hand it to him. And out of most of the grandkids, I was the one that never really complained about the smell. Or, he's like, don't inhale. Just he said, watch pop. He just say, and he said, this how you get in this for granddad. Just go. He would tell us puff 3 times and just hand it to him. He said, because if you inhale, he said, you're going to get sick. And most of my cousins wouldn't listen, and they would pull on it, take a draw, and they coughing, getting sick, whatever. And they was like, Pop, you still going to give us the $20? And he was like, here, don't you say nothing to your grandmother. Go outside. So this is how I developed liking cigars. Even though I was a child, I didn't smoke with him until I became an adult. But that's where it kind of got started. My grandfather would let us puff on a cigar and just hand it to him.
I got one more question about cigars, and we're going to get into the whole model of day. We're going to go everywhere.
Okay.
Go everywhere. Now, because I love to ask women this, because I don't, as a male, I don't know. When it comes to going into cigar shops and now on IG, I know you move in our circles, and we're invited. We don't give a fuck. But when it comes you out here and you're going through, you're maneuvering through cigar lounges, do you find people giving you that weird look, or how, as a female, as a woman, how do you maneuver?
I began actually going to cigar lounges when I was between the ages of 18 to 21. So long before it was popular for women to go, I went. And most times I was going to buy stuff for my grandfather and his friends. I would pick it up for them because if they were busy or they were retired by then, but you know how a lot of older people don't like to go into new spaces and places unless they have someone with them. So I knew at the time you couldn't be 18 and go into the lounge unless you had somebody older with you. So I would take my grandfather to the cigar shop with me. And he's like, you know where the cigar shop is? And the funny part was one of my classmates from middle school was a manager at a cigar shop at that time, between the ages of me being 18 to 23. So I would bring my grandfather through and let him smell, and he would pick what he liked, and he would tell me what kinds of aromas he liked. So that cigar shop had a shop, and then they had a kiosk in the mall where I worked. So I knew the young lady from middle school, and she would be like, Fatima, your grandfather want anything? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go pick his money up, and I'll bring him, bring Pop his cigars. But to be that young and move in those spaces, it was really different, because this is like what we would say the mid to late 90s. You still didn't see a lot of women in the cigar spaces. You're starting to see more of us now, but I still get that weird look. Then I get people who think I don't know anything about cigars because I'm a woman. When I can actually tell them how to pair their food, their wine, and their cigars because my grandfather taught me how to do it.
Yeah, I be seeing it too. There's a lot of knowledgeable women, especially the ones we talk to. So I always like to pick women brain because it's still. Let's be honest. It's still like the good old boys club. Because you can go to some cigar lounges. I go to some cigar lounges dressed the way I dress, and people that look at me funny. And I'm like, yo, because I'm comfortable. Any cigar you buy, I could buy.
Exactly. I mean, if I come in with a pair, let's just say I'm dressed down and I'm coming in just to snatch something real fast. And if I have on a hoodie, a pair of sneakers, and a pair of leggings, I get the funny looks.
I always look around. They already know I'm coming in when I come in. They already in the tender box. They see me in the tender. They already know. Oh, he coming in the tender box. And that man gonna wear what he gonna wear. He got his shorts and his shirt and his flip flops.
And see, my grandfather, I call him that Frank Sinatra type of generation. He would wear his little fedora, his nice little Panama shirt, and his little khaki slacks and stuff. But he went out, he would dress nice. But he was like, I'm comfortable. I'm not going to dress up and put on a whole suit and tie to go to, get my cigars. He would just be laid back. And for him, that was laid back. And I get what you're saying. If you're comfortable, come as you are. How you used to say in church, come as you are. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to come as you are to the cigar lounge, no judgment, and enjoy yourself. And what I'm noticing in a lot of these spaces is that people are so judgmental. I'm like, this is why people don't like coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't feel comfortable. You're not letting them be them.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is true. Like I said, there's a couple lounges that I frequent a lot in this area, in the Southern Maryland, Baltimore area. It's a couple in D.C., but y'all parking sucks up there.
Oh, it stinks to high heaven. The parking is terrible here in D.C.
Oh, what's the name of that one? Is it Martez? It's one the one in is it Martez? It's by the bank. It's in Bethesda. Is it Martez or something? Anyway, they make their own cigars. They got great cigars, but there's no parking. So I come after the bank is closed and park, and you cool. But if you come while it's open, you got to let them know you're there, or jump in real quick and grab your stuff. So there's no parking there. But down here in Southern Maryland, I like Tinderbox. I like Leonardstown. I go to Baltimore. I like Dan's Cigar Lounge. I like the parlor up there. So there's a lot of places like in Maryland that has a lot of things, a lot of places like that. And in Pittsburgh, it's cool. They got a woman-owned shop. And she cool as fuck.
Wow.
They got one here, actually. They got one here. They got one in Clinton. Ladies first.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to check them out.
Yeah, she just opened it.
I've been to TG, right near the convention center. I like TG. They may not have great parking, but I love the customer service there. Mm-hmm. The food is really good. The crowd's not bad.
The outdoor area is great.
The outdoor area is really pretty. I like TG. I avoid Georgetown at all costs with their cigar lounges. There's no parking. You just told me about Ladies First. I think I need to check them out. Everybody's been saying Tinderbox, but I don't think I'm going to like Tinderbox.
Hey, look,
I don't think I'm going to like it.
Look, whenever you want to go to Tinderbox, let me know.
Okay, I will tell you this. My birthday is in 2 weeks.
Okay. Let me know.
My birthday is on Valentine's Day. All right.
I introduce you to everybody. You'll be family down there.
Okay, I would like to go to Tinderbox. Either I would say, that Saturday before my birthday on the 11th.
Okay.
Just to go and get see how it is and get the atmosphere of it all. I would love to go to Ladies First because that's a women's own cigar lounge. I like supporting the other ladies that are in the cigar culture. I don't smoke that often. Like I know people that smoke every day. For me, it's every couple of weeks. I may have a cigar. I'm an occasional. I will say I'm an occasional partaker of a good cigar.
See, I'm like you. I smoke maybe twice a week if I'm lucky.
Right. And given my schedule, I don't have time to sit and really smoke because I'm always, doing something. I'm on the go. Even if I have the time, most times I'm just trying to relax. But I'm more of an occasional smoker. And I tell people I had kind of an old man. I still have a feminine palate because I love sweet things, but I had kind of an old man palate too because of my grandfather. He liked like cedar flavors, things that went well with coffee. He would get me acclimated to those types of cigars. And he told me, he said, "You still going to be a woman, so you're going to like the sweet stuff." He said, "I know that about you. You're going to like the sweet aromatic things." But he got me more into like the earthy things too, like those cedar cigars. Yeah. Ron has one that I like. It starts with the A. I'm trying to remember the name of it in his collection.
Yeah, he was on. We gonna do his. We did an episode with him. We gonna edit that. We just got so many episodes. We're trying to catch up with.
Yeah, Ron has one, and I love his Crossroads one.
Oh, I haven't had it. I heard good things about that.
Oh man, you want that? Is so flavorful, and like if you're having a nice little nightcap, depending on what you like to drink. I had it with some Shiraz red wine. It goes really well if you're a J&B drinker. If you like J&B Scotch, it goes well with that. It'll go well with Uncle Nearest as well. I love Uncle Nearest.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Since your birthday coming up, I'm gonna get you some of the same thing I told my brother to get them Drunken Napoleons. It's an infused cigars infused with white Hennessy. Oh. When I tell you I'm smoking that cigar, and I'm like, I wish these motherfuckers was bigger.
Those were nice.
He got him in a little Robusto size. I'm like, I wish this shit was big. Why ain't he making like in a fucking Toro?
Oh, so it's small. It's a smaller cigar.
Yeah, it's small. Yeah.
About 30, 40 minute smoke.
That's not bad.
I smoke those at work on lunch.
And the good thing about that is even if you were hanging around somebody who don't like cigars, that smell will not offend them. Okay. And you like I said, you could taste the difference between like when you have like premium tobacco and you got like the bootleg tobacco. Like you got the flavor where they just give you the bullshit tobacco. You could taste the difference. Like and I told him, I said, when you taste this, you're gonna taste the difference between this cigar and some of the cigars you thought were good that necessarily wasn't. That's how I always tell people. I always tell people you how you grow your palate is when you smell them cigars, okay, but try a premium cigar. Try that and then see if you can tell the difference. You will be able to tell the difference. Even if you're not really into smoking, you can tell the difference.
Yes, you can. You can tell the difference. I love Ron's cigars. His are very flavorful, very aromatic. The other one that I'm really in love with is the Mansa from Alex Spencer. Okay. I love the Mansa. In particular, I like the darker one, the darker brown one. And it's really with that one's also very flavorful. I had that with a smoked old fashioned. For my birthday last year. And everybody, because I don't drink brown unless it's fall or winter. I'm seasonal with how I drink. And my grandfather would tell me, you have your brown in the fall and the winter, you have your light during the spring and the summer. You don't drink brown all year round. And that's how Grandpa was like, don't do that all year round. It's going to mess you up. So
them taught me ain't no segregation. I drink light and dark.
So I do my dark during the winter. Like I said, a smoked old fashioned. I usually have it either before, after, or on my birthday. As you heard me say, J&B, I'll have a shot of it, with on the rock. What else did my grandfather get me acclimated to? Doers, beef eaters.
That Doers, I had that Doers Japanese cast. You talk about that? They got it across the street from me. and it was only $30 a bottle. You talk about something good, man! I damn near drank that whole bottle. That and that Japanese gin. That Japanese gin did it too. I'm gonna drink the whole bottle of that Japanese gin. Like it's so good, and it's not like overpowering and shit. You'll fuck around and be like, "Oh damn, I drank the whole bottle again."
And I keep telling myself I need to go to the liquor store and see if I can find that one.
Both of
them. Every time we talking.
But you'll love
So is it really smooth?
Yes. Yeah, it's the best. It's the best yours I had. That man, I don't. But you know what? It's crazy because it, for some reason, because they, like I said, they aged it in the Japanese barrel, and for some reason, it tastes like a really good cognac to me. Like you can taste grapes in it. Like it tastes like a really, really good cognac. Not Hennessy. I mean, like good cognac. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He said not Hennessy. Now white Hennessy, I actually like. I like white Hennessy.
I like it. That ain't shit but unaged cognac though.
I like white Hennessy. You never had it?
No.
And I had it when I was in the military.
My buddy brought some over when they came from Jamaica.
Yeah, I had it when I was in the Navy. We went to the Bacardi distillery in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
And they had a tour. And I tell everybody, when you go to Puerto Rico, you must go to the Bacardi distillery tour.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, you have two choices. You can go during lunchtime or you can go during dinner time. You pay, I think for lunch, you pay about $40. Okay. For dinner, you pay $50. This is what's included in your tour. You get to see the whole process of how they make rum from start to finish. You walk all through the distillery. For both lunch and dinner, you have like a 3-course. I think it's for lunch, you have a 3-course meal and all the rum drinks you can drink.
Ooh.
For dinner, it's a 4-course meal and all the rum drinks you can drink. So you can imagine the legal drinking age in Puerto Rico is 18 because they haven't become a state yet. They're still a U.S. territory. When I was enlisted, it was still, 18 years old. So you got a bunch of these Navy kids down here showing off because they can actually legally drink as compared to the upper 48. I was old enough to drink. I was like 23 at the time that I enlisted. So I went and I was laughing. I went and I was laughing at them because I said, if the command catch you here, it ain't on me. I'm good. I had a nice time. They offered us white Hennessy as one of the drinks that we could have, but like a shot of it by itself. With all the rums that they were offering, we had white rum, we had dark rum, we had the special Hennessy, and when I tell you, we had even the special Bacardi. Everything was good. Like you could get rum and Coke, however you wanted your rum made. The bartenders, they would come back and forth. The servers, oh, what would you like with this course? What would you like with that course? And I went to the point where I was letting them, hey, could you suggest a drink for me that goes with this course? I wouldn't drink the normal standard stuff. I let the servers tell me what they liked. And it ended up being one of the best experiences that I had with food and drink at the same time. So I tell anybody that gets the chance to go to Puerto Rico, go to the Bacardi distillery tour and have you a meal and some rum drinks. You will not regret the experience.
You heard that, right? Hero.
You will not regret it.
Yeah, say no, man. I'm doing St. Croix this year, but I definitely got to do Puerto Rico. But it's about Puerto Rico. I definitely got to do Puerto Rico.
And we went to Puerto Rico when I was in the Navy, and we went to the Virgin Islands. So when you're down there, make sure you get you some cruising rum in St. Croix.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Staying away from that Coke. I'm getting their products.
Yeah, get the stuff there because we were in St. Thomas and Charlotte Amalie. So I was able to have some rum from them too. And everybody laughed. They said, what was your favorite rum while you were there? I said, the pineapple rum was good and the banana rum was good.
As you know what, and because people think of this as like we had it's a distillery in Fredericks that make really good rum. And my neighbor before he moved, he gave me some. He was like, oh, I got this spice rum. I don't want spice rum. When I think of spice rum, I'm thinking like Sailor Jerry, Captain Morgan. I don't like that shit. Like none of that shit. But he gave it to me. And you talking about some of the best rum I ever had. Like, man, what the fuck is this paprika? I can really taste the spices in this motherfucker. They gave me the coconut. And the coconut, like they use coconut water Yeah, just use that artificial shit like it was so good. I was like, damn, this is what rum, coconut rum should taste like.
Exactly.
Like
Let
this
me
shit
Exactly.
like coconut.
Let's get into the model. Let's get into the model. Let's talk about the model, right?
Oh boy, where do you want me to start?
How did you get into it first? That's when we start from the beginning.
Okay, my first formal fashion show, I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And my principal, she's now deceased, my principal came up to me and she asked me, she said, you're such a tall young lady. She said, we're having the annual spring fashion show and I would like to know, she said, would you like to model in the fashion show? And I said, me? You sure you want me? And she said, yes, we would like you to be in the fashion show. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, let me ask my mom if she's okay with it. If mom says, yes, I'll do it. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, they invited me to do the spring fashion show for my high school. And my mother was like, okay, do you have to pay anything? I'm like, no, I just have to go to rehearsal and I have to go to the dress store to be fitted. And one thing about me, a lot of people don't know, I went to a predominantly white high school. So there weren't a whole lot of us. Sometimes I was the only black person in my actual classes. So how do old black people say I was a flying buttermilk?
I never heard that. That's some new shit.
I would hear my grandmother and them say, when you're the only black person in a room full of white people, you the flying buttermilk.
I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm using that.
From time to time, I would be the fly in the buttermilk where I was the only, black young woman in my classes because I went to an all-girls Catholic school, like I said, that was predominantly white. So I was shocked that they even wanted me in the fashion show, given the demographic of my high school. So I went and I did it. And after that, that's all she wrote. I just began to do different fashion shows around the Baltimore metro area. I went away to college at the University of Maryland at College Park, tried out for some fashion shows there. And I was really different because I was one of the few models that did not wear weave. I didn't perm my hair. My hair has been natural since I was 17 years old. So I have like more than 20 years of not wearing perms in my hair. And I had locks too by the time I began to model professionally here in the DC metro area. And it has not, I will say this, I have no regrets and I make no apologies for being myself. Let the world get used to me. I'm not changing to make y'all happy. I'll adapt, of course, to do certain things in my career. But one thing I'm not going to compromise on is my hair.
I think about cutting mine, but I did just to grow. I'm going to regrow it, but but I did. I remember one job I was going to and they was like, oh yeah, we like you. Your resume is impressive. Would you consider cutting your hair? Absolutely not.
And for us, I'm like, that's not right. You don't ask anybody else to alter their appearance.
And my hair wasn't even this. Like if I show you the picture of my hair, you'd be like, yo, that was really presentable. Like my hair was just starting to grow to that. Remember how when David Banner first had his hair, how it stood up?
Mm-hmm.
But it was faded on the side with the beard. Everything was faded, lined up.
Yeah.
I was like, no. What you talking about? My hair is as presentable as anybody else's in here. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you now, they put wigs on me. They braided hair into my hair, all of that, just to give me a different look. Now, I'll allow that to go on. But as far as ever having a perm again, that's not happening because now findings are coming out saying that women who perm and relax their hair are ending up with ovarian cancer, fibroids, and all kinds of problems because of the chemicals. Mm-hmm. Exactly, because of the chemicals that are in these products. So it's robbing a lot of black women of their health.
They dragged Chris Rock for that movie on Good Hair. For a while, they was dragging a lot of people. They
dragged them because we have been so conditioned to not accept ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I even encountered that in the modeling industry. I will tell you now, I've had more opposition from people that look like us to me looking like this versus when I go into what they could say is a multicultural or diverse environment.
Exactly.
You know, So,
and you know what? It comes from the older. Coincidentally, what I was talking about, it was an older gentleman. It was an older black gentleman. It comes from them. And I'm like, dude, I know you was alive in the 70s, but y'all had afros. What are we talking about here?
exactly. So what's the problem? What is the problem?
I mean, it's conditioning. It's like you said. You know, they get used to stuff, or I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like in their mind they want to escape that time. So when they see other people like kind of transitioning back to that, maybe they think the whole world is going back to that. It's like, no, just be you. Be proud of you.
What Paul Mooney say? If your hair nappy, they ain't happy.
Exactly. You know, and for me, I stopped perming because I got tired of the burning, the scars.
Yeah.
You know, it took a toll. And see, psychologically, a lot of black women can remember their first perm, and it was not a good experience. It's very traumatizing.
Like, I know women go through it, but there was a time when a lot of men were perming their hair too. They still got some of them scars. So, I mean,
yeah.
We know y'all was laying y'all hair down in the 80s. We know y'all was laying y'all hair. My uncle used to lay his hair down. He stopped doing that. But I know y'all was laying y'all hair down. Y'all was relaxing it with the straightening combs. Fuck all that.
Oh, and that, don't get me started on the straightening comb experience, because you just start crying. We would start crying as soon as we saw that blue magic grease.
I tried it once. I said, nope.
Knew. You had to hold your ear. You just sitting there hearing that sizzle.
I did it once.
See, I used to go through it because, you know, I don't know if you remember when I had the really long hair. My hair was like actually down about my shoulders. I cut it like shortly after my grandmother's funeral. But my sister used to do my hair every morning before school. And, you know, she used like the hot iron combs, the straightening combs and whatnot. Oh, the smell of my hair burning when she was going through it.
Oh, the worst one. I would take that electrical one. The worst ones when they set it on the stove because there was no heat control in that motherfucker.
That part.
My mom pulled it off the stove. Hey, she got done with the right side of my head, and I said, "I'm done." She said, I said, "No, I'm done."
When my sister had that hot comb in her hand, I have never been more still in my life. I could have been a statue at that moment.
I cut my hair shortly after that. I said, I ain't going through this shit.
Right there, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, please don't let this girl sneeze. Don't let her cough. Don't let a piece of dirt fly past her face and she try to swat nothing. I need a steady hand right now.
Again, because you didn't have the heat control on it when they developed the electrical ones, or the ones you could put in the actual warming iron and you could control the temperature. It was a whole different world. And I hated the one that went on the stove because you didn't know how hot it was or how cold it was. You had to put it in a damp rag. I would see my aunts and them put it in a damp rag and see how hot it was to make sure it wasn't too hot for them to hold or too hot for them to put on, you know, our little scalps, because always around Easter time, we knew you was either going to get that straightening comb, and I got tired of it. I said, can I go get a blowout? Can I go get a silk press? I just, no, I don't want the straightening comb. And it may have cost a little bit more, but I had more of a say once I became a teenager what I wanted and how I wanted my hair. Because I was like, I'm not doing this. Y'all not going to burn me. Do this, do that. So I began transitioning over as like 15, 16 years old. By the time I was 17, I had a nice little bush. I went to take my senior portraits, did the big chop, and I had classmates ask me, where's your hair? I said, on my head, just like yours. And that was my response, on my head, just like yours. And unfortunately, the other Black American students who went to school with me, a lot of them had a negative reaction to seeing me with my hair natural.
Damn.
I remember my grandmother, when I went back, my cousin, because I was like, yo, like I was doing freeform. My cousin was like, man, that's dope. I want to be there like mine. My grandma like, let me touch your hair. What's wrong with you? This is the same hair I was born with. What are you talking about? She's just not used. She was never used to me having hair because I always kept it low. She's like, oh, you need to take that down. And I'm like, nope.
And see, I went natural. Like I said, at 17, a year later, I had my first set of locks, and they were freeform. I was the first person in my family with locks, and I caught it. I caught it from a lot of the older people. I didn't say do something with your hair. I said I did do something with my hair, and if you got a problem with it, oh well. I love y'all, but you're not going to tell me how to look. And they got angry. They were very angry with me for having locks. They didn't like it. It looked unpresentable. It looked nasty. I mean, I heard all kinds of nasty little comments.
Now, see, I used to hear stuff like that about my hair sometimes because there was a point where, so my hair, it's weird. So my hair will curl up, but it's not nappy. You can still take a comb straight through it.
Oh, wow.
It curls up, really tight curls.
Yeah.
And, people are like, oh, that's unpresentable. Who's to say what's presentable and what's not presentable? Who made these laws? Who made these rules?
Exactly.
I ain't sit on that board meeting. I'm sorry. I ain't get that.
Yeah, the weirdest part about my hair, when it gets wet, it gets straight. It's really weird.
Right. I mean, we all have different curl patterns. Like for me, I have what they consider to be 4B hair.
4B hair.
4B, because it's our kinks and our curls have different categories, actually.
I did not know that. Look at that.
And a lot of people don't know that. And 4C is considered, like 4C and 4D are considered like the kinkiest. 4B, I'm considered like kinky, but not too kinky and still kind of soft. So with me, I can wet my hair and it'll just curl.
It's weird.
It will. As soon as I wet it, even before I put the sponge on it, it's just curling up. So I was one of them kids. If I went to the pool and it got wet, that was it. I was done. So I had to have a swim cap on whenever I went to the pool, because if my mom just got my hair done, that was down the drain. So for me, I have had that battle within my own family, and it hasn't been me per se. It has unfortunately been some of the family members where, as we spoke on, their conditioning, who were not supportive of me being natural, of me having locks. And I paved the way for all my younger cousins. I have more younger cousins with locks down their back, freeform locks. All of them saw me first. And they said, we went and we locked our hair because we saw you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what started happening. Now, I ain't say I was the catalyst, but a lot it started happening in my family. And like I said, my grandma ain't had no choice but to just accept it. But like at that point, I don't even live with you no more, so you don't have any say so what happens to my
what
life.
I do. And as far as this industry, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. Race plays a huge factor within the entertainment industry. It really does. Unfortunately, some of the things that I've seen with modeling and even with acting can be somewhat stereotypical. If I smell any stereotypes, I get up and I walk out. I'm not doing it.
I think that's when you're in entertainment or just modeling or pretty much any industry at all, you have to be comfortable with walking away.
I put that on us, not us not hanging together, and us not as a people not really supporting each other, because there's enough room for everybody. They just give us these people to kind of like. I remember they talking to Cat Williams with somebody in the same, and Cat Williams said that for years, and not only Cat Williams, Ari Spears, a lot of these comedians have said this for years and years and years. They made it seem like it was only room for one big black comedian. You had Richard Pryor, you had Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams passed, but Robin Williams would have made it. You had, Bernie Mac and all them, but he's like, it make it seem like it's only room for one. And we're conditioned to believe that, but there's so many other comedians out there who can also get on. And that's why I kind of like how Dave Chappelle moves in the industry. How he does what he gonna do. He doesn't have any sponsors, so he can say what he has to say. There's a lot of comedians out there who are scared to say certain things because they're scared of losing their sponsors and everything, which we don't have a sponsor, so we gonna say what we want on this motherfucker.
And that's the thing with me. I've remained very independent because I don't want to be beholden to anyone. Mm-hmm. And even after I joined the Actors Union, I'm picking my roles very carefully because I'll be joining SAG-AFTRA pretty soon. And even with that, a lot of people don't tell you. Once you join the Actors Union, you can still accept or reject your auditions. Mm-hmm. You get to read over your storylines and you can say yes or no. Even now that I'm not in the union, I'm very selective about the independent projects that I take because I was taught all money is not good. All money ain't good money.
Exactly.
And for me, I look at the fact that there are other younger Black men and women who are watching me.
Right.
And I would rather keep my dignity intact, my character intact, than to go out and embarrass our folks on a mass scale. You know, raccooning is not an option for me.
And I love that you went into that. How do you pick your roles?
Very, very carefully. I read through them. I'm very selective about who I model with. And if I just smell an inkling of unprofessionalism and stereotypes, I go with my instinct. I'm not doing it.
There we go.
I'll turn it down. And I'm I'm very selective about what I do. Again, I have to be very discerning about what I am, where I'm doing, and who I'm working with. And unfortunately, in this industry, because so many of our folks see other people as competition instead of let's all work together, it's enough, like you said, it's a large enough land, and it's a large enough land, and it's enough money on the table that we can all eat. Too many of our people don't have that mentality. They see me or the next woman as competition instead of she got her lane, I got my lane, ain't no traffic over here. Do you? And for me, if I can't get to a modeling model call, or if it's even for a smaller size and I see it, I'll send it out to other models. Hey, this is size such and such and such and such. I know my lane. You know, this is, go ahead, you audition, you try out. Or if I'm busy, but I know about a model call and enough time and I can't make it, I'll still share it with 20 or 30 other models. Hey, you go. Because again, I know my lane. I know my lane. And it's enough, like I said, it's enough food on the table for all of us to eat. We all have our unique, strengths. We all have our unique looks. We all bring something different to the table. Who am I? I'm like this. I would rather lead the way than stand in the way. And a lot of people don't get that. And then it's a very cutthroat industry because it's cutthroat because people make it that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
I mean, that goes again back to, I can't speak for other cultures, but like our culture, we're more conditioned and prepared for competition versus cooperation.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like me and my brother, obviously my brother, I'm always help him out, but growing up, it might have been where it's like, all right, this is here. Y'all can both have it. But in my mind, the more of it he has, the less I have. Instead of me just being like, okay, well, maybe if I help him out, we could both get more. We could put it together and grow that to make more. But a lot of people, they don't do that. They're just geared on, I need as much as I can, which means I got to stop you from taking some.
And I've seen it one time too many amongst us in this industry where people will, talk about you bad when you're not in the room to try and make you look bad to other people. Yeah. Try to mess up stuff for you at a model call. Okay. Mess up stuff for you at an audition. And my whole thinking is the pit you dig for me is going to be the one you fall in.
Yeah.
It might not come back to you today or tomorrow. And it may not come back to you the way you put it out. You go get it back. Karma is real. That's all I can tell you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I will say this much. I am good. Because I'm like, look, I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth. I'm not going to set nobody up for failure. That's not me. I'm not built like that. Okay? I'm not that type of person. I will call it out when I see you being a dirtbag. I'm going to shine some light on you because you're being very deceptive. You're making people think you can be trusted and you out here setting folks up. You know, so I'm going to call you out. I don't have to be real public with it, but I'm going to let you know I'm watching because I see what you did to me. I'm watching you, you know. So for me, I would say my dad taught me something growing up. He said, you know, bosses don't brag and hustlers don't advertise. Let your work speak for itself. And for me, I'm very quiet about how I do things. I'm very observant. I'm very professional. And the same token, I'm cool till I ain't cool no more. So when it comes to that, there have been numerous people that had to find out or get that smoke in a certain way because I'm cool till I'm not cool no more. You're not going to talk to me crazy. You're not going to be unprofessional or disrespectful. And unfortunately, in the circles of our people in the industry, that's the norm. They think they can be verbally abusive to the models, to the makeup artists, you know, to the the hairdressing or the beauty staff. And we're supposed to tolerate it. And that's what it is. No, you're not. And pardon how I say this, gentlemen, I really don't want to go there with my language, but you got me and life fucked up if you think you're going to talk to me a certain kind of way. We're not about to do this.
I tell people that on a regular basis. Oh, you got me all the way fucked up.
Yeah, we're not going to do this. How do old people say what we not going to do?
Yep.
What we not about to do? Because both my grandmothers were from the South. What we ain't fixing to do today. Is have you show your whole ass with me and everybody else up in this camp. We're not doing that. I don't care how much of a director of a fashion show you are, designer. What you will not do is be disrespectful. And I've had to hold my composure in a lot of different environments professionally because a person just thought they was going to make me their punching bag or lash out at me or talk to me any kind of way. And I was like, okay, that's what you're doing today? All right. I had a designer, I'm going to leave her nameless, doing a major show here in D.C. She told me, oh, your walk is not strong enough. I was like, cool, I got you. Went and got the assistant director of the show. So this woman just said in front of a room full of people that my walk wasn't strong enough and that she did not want me in her clothes and that she wasn't going to fit me, right? They said, we chose you to be in the show. Therefore, we think your walk is strong enough. She is not the end all be all. She said that to you? They was like, yep. They said, we got it, you know. And the brothers and sisters that put the show together did not care for that. She thought she got away with it. There were other models saying, ooh, laughing. And then they're going to come up and be, girl, you okay? You know what I said through my teeth? Girl, you all right? I said, bitch, you was just in there laughing. I hope your ovaries fall the fuck out. And I said it with a smile on my face. And they were looking. I said, I don't do phoniness. I said, you just stood in there and laughed at a person being unprofessional and disrespectful towards me. But you want to come ask me, am I okay? And I said, bitch, I said, you just stood in there and laughed at me. I hope you always fall the fuck out. Have a nice show. They couldn't believe somebody was that quick on their feet to call out the fakeness. And that's another reason why I am who I am in this industry. What you get is what you get. I'm going to be cordial. I'm going to be professional. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate being fake. Okay? So this is why I do what's right. And I used to hear old people say, what's right is not always popular, and what's popular is not always right.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that a lot. And what I do is not popular. I'm not fake. I'm not phony. I'm not going to kiss your ass. You get what you get. And if you give me disrespect, I'm not going to give it back to you. I'm just going to let you know you got the right one today. Because you're not going to play with me like that. And those models could not believe that I told them about themselves in that split second while I was sitting in the chair having my makeup and my hair done that day. They was like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, it's a new sheriff in town. Everybody's not tolerating this. It's not cool. It was disrespectful. The designer had to end up coming back apologizing to me. But when she did it in front of a room of very highbrow, influential people that saw what she did. And no one bought her clothes that day because of how she treated me. And they told her in her face, they said, you were so disrespectful to that young lady. We're not buying anything from you. They said, if you treat your models like that, how do you treat your customers?
Yeah, because in her mind, she probably thought she was bigger than everybody else. Oh, well, I designed the clothes. Your clothes don't mean shit without me.
And that's what they had to remind her of. Had I not been there to walk the clothes, and even when I walked the clothes, like the whole room went crazy that day at the fashion show. You think my walk not strong enough? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I ain't going to argue with you. I got you. I went up there, smoked that runway to the point nobody wanted to walk after me. And even she was like, oh, that was like, and she would try to come up to me and tell me, I said, don't you touch me. I told her, let me hurry up and get out of your precious clothes since you don't think I can walk them well enough. Here you go.
I got a question for you. All right. So growing up, I mean, obviously I know it a little different now, but growing up, I used to see, runway shows or whatever. You see models and you think, oh, they just walking. They just put on clothes and they just walk. How difficult is it actually behind the scenes to be a model? Like a clothing model?
I will tell you now, you have different categories of being a model. And what most people see are the runway shows. They don't see what goes into it. We have to be there. If you're doing runway, because I do more than just runway. I've done ad, print, swimsuit, commercial. When you're doing runway, you have to be there. The show may start at 1:00 in the afternoon. You have to get there at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, man.
And that's for rehearsal, to walk the runway and get comfortable. You actually have to practice before the show. Then you have fittings, extra fittings or additional fittings before the show. You have to eat before the show. If you're hungry, you eat. But once you're in your makeup, you cannot eat.
Oh, fuck.
Because they don't want the makeup to wear off, which is one reason why if we drink something, we have to drink it through a straw so that we don't rub off the lipstick. We have to make sure I have a thing that I put around my neck and my face so that I don't get makeup on the clothes. So basically, we're a moving human mannequin once we get on that runway. Our job is to show the clothes to the point where it sells.
Now, like when you're doing the walks, do you have to practice those walks, or is it like just?
I practice every other day at home. Even though I haven't done a professional show in like almost 3 years, I still practice my walk to keep it fresh. It's like a bike. Once you do it, you don't forget it, but you do have to keep yourself in practice. So I practice my walk every other day.
Find yourself like walking through the grocery store and you hit that model walk.
And see, people can tell because it's just like breathing to me now. My stride is different from the average woman because of what I've done professionally for so long. And then I also have coach classes that I go to with different, runway coaches or more experienced models where, hey, let me bring my walk up to another level. There's always room for improvement. So that's with the runway aspect. Then when you're doing like ad and print or, swimsuit or magazines, it's mainly, you may listen to music or you and the photographer have like a dope bond and y'all are just sitting there talking and laughing. And in between y'all talking while you got your clothes on and stuff, they catching some really good shots of you. And that's another thing, the chemistry of it all. When you find certain people to work with, you build a rapport with them. You build a good relationship with them, and you don't mind going back. Some people are, I call it one and done, and some people are ongoing.
Okay.
Where you don't mind going back to work with them because the atmosphere is so professional. the atmosphere is peaceful, because in a lot of these atmospheres, it can be very chaotic. It's just everything but the kitchen sink going on. Somebody done lost their shoes, or somebody did this. I've had people steal stuff from me at backstage at fashion shows.
What? Oh wow!
Had people steal from me. So it's to a point now where when I come into the show, I put my stuff in an area where I know nobody else is sitting, or I try to sit it near the makeup artist or the hairdressers where they can keep an eye on it. Because usually if there's some people around, ain't nobody gonna come touch it. But if it's over with everybody else's stuff, people will go and rifle through your things. So I did New York Fashion Week, and somebody stole something from me during New York Fashion Week.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? You trifling, because you can afford to buy this yourself, but you're gonna steal it from another model.
Wow.
So y'all are from Chicago. So you guys from the Midwest, when you understand, they make me act like a G sometimes backstage. And I don't want to, but you're going to force me to do it. You know, how Kevin Hart said, you're going to learn today. I come in there, I'm nice, and I be telling them, don't come over near my bag. Don't ask me for nothing. I don't care. I don't have it.
See that couldn't be me, because the first thing I'm saying when I get backstage, so that everybody can hear. One thing I know, two things for sure. Ass whoopings will be handed out if any of them come up missing.
And some people I've seen some people at fashion shows make them types of announcements. And you know what I tell them? I second your emotion. I'm with you on that.
I'm like, right now you're looking at the ass whooping surplus store. Come on,
because you don't steal from people. You just don't. I'm the type of person, if you come ask me and I have two or something, I'll actually give it to you. Don't take it from me, though.
Right.
Don't take that from me, because that means I can't trust you. You took my right away to even offer it to you by stealing. So now I'm very cautious backstage. I don't, even if I'm digging through the bag to look for things for the outfits, because we bring outfits, like when they dress us, we'll bring our own shoes and our own jewelry, and they can match our shoes and our accessories to the outfit. So that's in our model bag. I'm to a point now with my model bag. I travel with a travel lock and a travel key. I lock it up, and the travel key, I stick it right in my bra. And I go right down the runway, and it's in because I'm like, my stuff is locked. So if y'all can't get in it, you can't get in my bag when I'm not backstage. You're not doing that.
Come from? I said that's where the extra confidence in the walk come from, because you know that your stuff is safe. My
stuff is safe, and then it's sad, but it's true. You know how they used to tell us when I was in the military, there are thieves amongst us.
Yeah, definitely.
And unfortunately, I've had my stuff stolen. I've heard other people, been at other shows and people's stuff and came up missing. And I'm like, this is not cool. We should be able to work without, people behaving this way. And for me, with being a model and an actress, we should be able to work without, like that example I cited, without being abused.
Yeah.
I should be able to go into a professional environment without being abused, without the without that possibility of being verbally abused. And then we're not even going to talk about the pay, because some people, they want to play around. Like they would try to pay myself and other models less than $200 a show, and then give somebody else $2,000 or $3,000. No, what you pay one, you pay all.
Yeah.
Period. Or we get this, it's an exposure show. Exposure don't pay my bills.
Exactly.
It don't pay my rent. If I'm going to come this far out my way and get my hair done, get my nails done, get my feet done, and because it costs close to $100 or more to get ready for these shows, you need to give me back more than what I spent for my time. If I'm there from 8:30 in the afternoon to almost 8 o'clock at night, that means that's 12 hours. My whole day is gone, basically. Because I'm here doing this production, and you want to just throw me, $100? That's a joke. That's less than minimum wage. Okay. And unfortunately, again, it's our folks with this,
So,
playing with the money.
so I ask you, as a model and an actress,
Mm-hmm.
so between modeling and acting, what's the craziest outfit you've had to wear?
Oh, I had to wear an outfit where this is what they did to me. I was it was my sophomore year of college. I was at University of Maryland. I had locks. They set my locks up on pipe cleaners, basically. So it looked like I stuck my finger in the electrical socket. Okay. And I had an outfit on where basically I will tell y'all by nature, I'm a blurred.
A blurb?
A black nerd.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. I'm really I love to learn new things. I'm just one of them brainy people. You got to give me something to do. And because if I don't get something to do, you remember them little kids in elementary school? If you didn't occupy them, they got real mischievous.
Yeah.
They start blowing stuff up and pulling practical jokes and stuff. That was me. If you didn't give me something to do as a little girl, I was going to find something to do. So I had to be occupied. So a lot of people just thought because I was one of them people that stayed out of the way, minded my business. I'm social, yes. I'm still, hey, I gotta go to class, go to work after class. I dressed down. When I went to college, I wasn't one of them girls that, put on a show when I went to class every day. I wear, my Timbs and my baggy jeans and maybe, a little cute little t-shirt or whatever. But I wasn't about, I'm here to snatch a guy. I'm like, I'm here for an education. There's a difference. I look cute when I feel like it. Like how local heroes say, I'm chilling, okay? I'm not here for all that. So that day I became known as, oh, that's the chick. That's the Fatima with the dread. She real cool. So all the guys would pass me up to go to what I would consider like the Barbie doll girls. They put me in this outfit. They sent me down the runway. It was a black dress. Okay. It was a black dress and it had like, you would say like shorts built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a real high split in it. And nobody had saw or could tell that I was curvy until I wore that dress and came down the runway. All the guys who knew me at University of Maryland, because the way they teach, I was taught to model was you pick a spot on the wall near the clock and you look at that spot and you look over everybody while you're walking. You don't look down at the crowd. But my peripheral, I could catch them while I was coming down the runway. And the dress had a train, but it was short in the front and it was long in the back. And you kind of see I was curvy and I had legs. I walked down. I came out in that outfit. All I can say is all the guys that knew me did this. And I walked in, and they were like, we didn't know. I said, because it's not for you to know. Right? You didn't need to know that I look like that up under my clothes. You ain't supposed to know everything, right?
We wasn't ready. They
wasn't ready. I came out in that outfit, and like I said, I had these silver pipe cleaners in my hair, so my hair was sitting up like this. My makeup, my face looked different, and I'm out, and it's kind of like almost a goth outfit that they had me in. And I didn't look like anybody else, but like I said, I wasn't used to wearing stuff that short. But it was one of the shortest mini dresses with a train I ever wore in my life. And I had to walk that thing. I had to walk it. Like I've been in stuff that was, they put me in a see-through, like almost a see-through dress and sent me out on the runway.
Oh.
Because they so used to sending the smaller women down the runway and stuff like that. And they were like, you tall? You 6 feet. I'm 6 feet tall without my shoes. So they're like, you're 6 feet tall. When we put the heels on you, you're 6'3". Come on, own it. Just own it, because you're used to seeing, like I said, no offense to my smaller frame sisters out there, but what you usually see on the runway is size 0 through 8 when you're doing these high fashion shows. They call them like the haute couture fashion shows. Now they're starting to make more of a lane for the plus size women. And I was plus size before plus size was popular, and it was like, I feel like I was one of those people that paved the way for the plus size lane in many ways, because they wouldn't take us. You were size 10 and up, they gave us a hard time.
Right.
Oh, we don't have a whole lot of clothes for y'all. Now it's just switched. You got more clothes for people who are size 10 and up. Now you're not seeing the smaller people that much anymore. More people in our society are larger frames than smaller frames. So you have to have a realistic approach.
And see, like, my whole thing is like, a lot of people hear plus size and they think, oh, fat. Look, not every size 14 is the same. All right.
No.
I actually used to work at a women's clothing store. It was a plus size women's clothing store. I don't even know if they still around. I worked at Ashley Stewart.
Al Bundy over here.
You said Al Bundy? Man, Al Bundy was bomb. Leave Al alone.
I worked at Ashley Stewart, and I seen some women come through there. When I first started there, I'm like, oh man, these about to be some huge women coming through here. I seen this one lady come through. She was like a size 12, maybe a 14. And I'm looking, and I'm like, nah.
Yes, every size 10 through a 16 is not equal. I wear a 12 to a 14 right now. We're not equal. Actually, I wear like about a 12 to a 16, depending on how it's cut.
Right.
And that's the thing. And like you said, all of these large plus sizes are not created equal. Every plus size woman is not morbidly obese, so to speak.
And I mean, but I think that's the same. It's not even just women. That's just people in general. These sizes, like, you hear certain things. So, like, you hear morbidly obese. First thing people think is, oh, this is like some really huge 800-pound dude, can't walk around. And a lot of these scales they're just weird.
All that is based on your BMI. Height to weight. What weight should be at your height. So
with some of that I still don't agree with, because like,
you could be 6 feet and 50 pounds overweight, and you'll be considered morbidly obese.
I was like, because like technically I'm considered morbidly obese. I'm like,
and in their defense, you are fat than a motherfucker. But
I'm a ball. That's a whole nother story.
I can't even with you. I cannot even with him.
Big man, big balls.
I can't. Okay. This is the thing. I'm 6 feet tall. And like you said, a lot of this to me with the BMI is culturally biased. Because again, different ethnic groups carry their weight in different areas.
Yeah, it's all different.
It's very different.
I'm 6'1", so according to their scales, I should not be any bigger than like 170 pounds. Yeah, no, bro. No, I'm not doing 170 pounds. Not at all.
I mean, the thing is, when I went into the Navy, I was like, 6 feet, 100. I was 200 pounds. But I was only like 9% body fat. And then I got home and I got really fat. But that ain't the point. But that didn't determine, like, so it's like, oh man, it's like, you only 9% body. Like, yeah, because I actually used to do shit.
They did me the same way. When I enlisted, I'm 6 feet. I was 190 pounds when I enlisted. And I actually lost 5 pounds before I took my second oath. I was like 185 pounds. And they were like, oh, and they said, oh, your body fat is so low. I said, duh. I get up in the morning, I go walking, I go jogging. This was before I went into the Navy. And when I got there and we took the PRT, and you know how it goes, they work us to no avail in boot camp. They work you out till you pass out.
Oh, they got mad at me. They got mad at me on that run because I bullshitted and sprinted at the end.
I ran extra laps because I knew certain people couldn't keep up with the run, just to encourage them. I was done already, but I went ahead and ran extra and still made it in my time for my age group.
I beat my time.
what made me, I beat my time too. And what made me laugh was I enlisted at the age of 23. Okay. I said, how am I 23 years old and I'm outrunning 18-year-olds?
I
Do y'all even have gym anymore? I couldn't believe it. I was looking at them like, how am I in better shape? I'm 5 years older than y'all, and I'm in better shape than people coming fresh out of high school when I enlisted.
And I made them so mad because they saw it. Stop bullshitting, push it. I'm making my time. I get right there toward the end and I hit it. They be like, but they couldn't do nothing because I made the time. They was mad as fuck.
And look, I had them laughing because I could do the sit-ups. But with the women in the military, we were like, all right, we got to do something about this push-up thing. Because most women, the sit-ups, we can knock them out because of the abdominal thing. But with them push-ups, for women, it's a little bit harder because we don't have all that upper body strength. So we figured something out in boot camp. We said, all right, y'all, every time they drop one of us, everybody just go ahead and drop, right? That way, nobody fails the push-up portion of the PRT. So when they told somebody to drop amongst the females, and they said, such and such drop, all of us were in my unit, we were half left face, all the females, whatever direction they told that person to go in, we went in, and we got on the floor, and we were doing the push-ups with them. And our rib ropes was like, whoa, because we didn't want anybody to fail the push-up portion of the PRT before we got out of boot camp. That was where a lot of the women were not doing well in, was the push-up part because of the upper body strength. The guys were knocking that out. I got that by nature.
I was never a fan of push-ups. I could do them, but I was going to do way more sit-ups than push-ups. I just was a fan of push-ups. I did my required push-ups. The sit-up,
that sit-up part, we was killing it. We was killing them sit-ups, though. People could kill the sit-ups. It was the push-ups that was the hard part for a lot of people. Push-ups was the tough part. You know, so I can honestly say, you know, it did give us a wake-up call, but I was like, while I was in the Navy, it made people laugh. I actually worked out. I didn't wait until right before the PRT. I was like, let me go work out every other day so that I don't fail this PRT at all. That was a part of us.
I think I did, before I went in, I just played basketball with Drake.
You know, one year, instead of me doing the run, I swam.
I used to love the run, especially early in the morning. I love that run. I don't know if it's weird. But it was like, you know, like the time for the hood. That's what we did. Time to go running. They do shit like, we go.
Yeah, so the run was easier than doing the swim. The swim was a little more, you know, physically taxing, but one year I did the swim instead of doing the run. And they was like, you going to do it again next PRT? I was like, no, because I'm actually tired. You know, it takes a lot to recover from swimming because you are using every muscle in your body. And it's a lot of work. But when you do the run...
I actually like to swim.
It's a good workout. It's a very good workout. But with the run, to me, you recover quicker from the run than you do from the swim.
Oh, yeah. Once I'm done with the run, give me 5 minutes, I'm good.
Now, with the swim portion, it took a little bit more work. But like I said, I did it. My body was actually tired, but you could feel every muscle in your body working. And I actually do water aerobics a lot.
I'm about to get into that.
It feels like you get more resistance underwater with your water weights than you do on land. And you're toning better because you're going against the water weight, you know, to really get your workout in, and it tones your body better. So I'm getting ready to get back into doing water aerobics in the next month or so.
I know, like I said, everybody knows I'm supposed to be transferring. I'm going down to Arizona. That's where we're going to be my retirement home. And just some of the when you go hiking and you go up the trails, you see some of the sunrise or the sunset is so beautiful. I like that morning air. That's the only time I'm okay if it's cold at night or early in the morning. For the rest of the day, fuck that. Like right now, this weather right here, I love this weather. I could do this weather.
No, I cannot.
Well, it's because it's cold. It's cold where you at, but it's nice here. It's really nice here.
It's like 12 degrees with the sun out.
Yeah,
Are you still in Chicago?
No, I actually live in Kansas.
It's colder in Chicago.
Whoa. See, and that's the thing I had people laughing about after I went to Chicago to Waukegan for basic. I told everybody the Midwest got 2 seasons. Winter and a half of a summer.
Yeah, but
there's no fall, it's no spring.
Summer get hot in the motherfucker.
and I had people laughing. I said, to me, when I got out there to Chicago, because it wasn't my first time out there, it was my second time. Like, I went to visit when I was in high school, but I also came back because of the military. And I tell a lot of people from the Midwest, I love black people from the Midwest because y'all like the cold out there. Y'all just gangster.
No, we don't. We just get used to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I love black people from the Midwest because y'all just like the weather. Y'all gangster.
Yeah,
that weather don't play out there, okay? That weather ain't nothing to play with. It's nothing to play with.
I bet because I live by the lake, so we got extra cold. Waved past me one day and said, "Man, your mama." I was like, "You disrespectful motherfucker."
Oh yeah, that wind coming off of Lake Michigan will disrespect your coat and your whole soul. It is nothing to play with. And I tell all my friends from the East Coast, listen to me now. Let me tell you right now, I hope you got a thick coat when you go to Chicago or Detroit, wherever you going. Get you some boots. If you're smart enough, you might just get a fur coat. Don't go out there thinking it's like an East Coast winter, because it's not.
Nah. You gotta get you some ACGs. Some Timbs ain't gonna hold up.
I told them that. I said, get you some ACGs. You might want to wear 2 pairs of socks. Get you some thermals. It's not a game. It is not a game. I've done a Midwest winter, and I said to myself after doing that Midwest winter when I was in the Navy, never again.
And see, that's another thing that's not all the same, because technically with Kansas, I'm still in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
But the winters here are nothing compared to back home. Like out here, the biggest thing I have is a hoodie. That's what I wear all year round. I wear a hoodie, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Even when we right in the middle of winter, when it's supposed to be its coldest, I can get away with wearing a hoodie. I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, I do a pullover. I don't wear a coat.
If I tried to wear a hoodie in Chicago right now, I'd be frozen before I leave my front porch.
Basically.
Like it's not happening.
Yeah, I got pullovers. I can't, because I got a Chicago coat and it don't work here. It just don't get cold enough for it.
Yeah, it'd be too hot. And here, so like a lot of people here, they complain, oh, it's cold. Oh, it snows a lot here. It literally snows maybe 3 days out of the whole damn winter. That's what you get. And then even then, it's only about 2 inches of snow.
Well, knock on wood.
That was a huge snowstorm.
We ain't getting none yet. And hopefully.
We haven't gotten any yet.
I be looking like I get more snow than that in my freezer. What are you talking about?
We haven't gotten any yet, but your brother knows we ain't out the woods yet. To the East Coast. Yeah, we could get dumped on next month. We could get dumped on all the way up to the end of March.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest snow time here is like right at the beginning of February. So like right before it starts to get warm, usually you'll get a couple days where it's just like ice and snow.
Oh.
And then the next day, it's like 75. And everything just melts away. It's like, what the?
That's just sick weather. Because right now here in D.C., it's what, between 55, 58 degrees?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Sun out. Got sun out right now.
The sun is out. You know, if I decide to go for a walk this afternoon, I'm still going to put a nice, a nice hoodie or pullover, a little zip-up jacket on and a hat on. But I'm not coming outside half naked. I know better. And I'm seeing people, oh, it's warm. No jacket. I'm like, and you're going to be sick next week. Get out my face.
Yeah, I'm not in my T-shirt. I'm good. Actually,
I got to have something on because, again, it's going to be cold. They talking about it may snow before the end of this week.
Yeah, that's what they saying, yeah.
So our weather goes up, down, fluctuate. Last week, the week before last, we had like a couple days where it was almost 60 degrees.
Yeah.
or past 60 degrees. And I'm like, okay, this is pneumonia weather. As my grandparents used to say, this get sick weather. I still had a jacket on.
Fuck,
People looking at me like, you still got a jacket on? I said, yep, and you going to be sick and I'm not.
So we could go ahead and get up. Oh, so let me ask you a question. We go Friday, we going, man. We gonna have a lot of people. We going to Cigar International Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
Any of those days?
Let's see. If I'm not like studying my brains out, because I should be able to get there. It's looking like Sunday is probably gonna be the day y'all will see me.
Okay. I know Coco talking about coming up. Coco Cigar Cutie, Mark from Select Draw. He bringing his ambassador up, Mrs. Exquisite. We're gonna have some people there. There's gonna be some people there. So that's a little bit we doing.
If I come, just give me the date, time, and location for Sunday. Is there really good parking?
Yeah, they got a full parking lot. I think it's only like full parking lot, full bar. It's only about 2.5 hours, if that.
Okay.
I just got my only thing. I'm leaving Friday morning because I don't want to get caught up with that DC traffic. You know how that DC traffic. You know how y'all.
Okay, and where is this at?
It's in Hamburg, PA.
Okay, so if I come on Sunday, it's no football going on. I'm gonna have to get up early. Around early in the morning. Mm-hmm. And head out. Just give me the location. I'll make sure I gas up the car the night before.
Mm-hmm. We'll be there for like somebody that's a Sunday evening.
Okay, how much is it for the conference?
None. We just go in there, smoke cigars, and talk shit.
Okay, so I may just snatch one other person and bring them with me.
No problem.
I may ask a couple of my frat brothers, hey, what y'all doing?
Always invited.
What y'all doing? Come on through. And they may be like, you going, sorry. If you go, I go. That's how a lot of them are. So I'm one of the few of the sorority sisters that actually smoke cigars. So
a couple of my guys from Pittsburgh come. We got guys from New York, Jersey, Ohio, here. We got some people coming up, Virginia.
Okay.
So we're gonna be up there having fun. It's gonna be a lot of us. We're gonna have some fun. I think my man for smoking barbecue coming up there who make the chocolates for the cigars. He's gonna be up there. So it'll be a fun time.
Okay, well you invite me. I'm gonna see who else can come through this Sunday and invite them, and we may caravan it up.
No problem. No problem. We're gonna do something.
It up.
We're gonna do something later so that the other members of the podcast can come next time. So my man Kimbro couldn't make it. I'm gonna see you in Wisconsin, B. I ain't worried about you.
And tell Kimbro, hey Kimbro, because I jump on the live with you and him, and I be howling, laughing at y'all, man. I'm like, I can't. Because B1, I don't know if you've seen me on the live. I'm the one that's always telling them they going to hell on the scholarship package.
No, I've seen it. Like, see, they don't think I'm in because I work nights.
Okay.
So I work overnight. So usually I'm asleep during the day and then I'm at work at night. And they always be like, oh, you gonna jump on live? No, I'm going to work. No, I'm not getting on live.
Because I jump on with them and they laugh because I be saying, y'all going on a scholarship package. That's me. I be like, y'all going to hell on a scholarship, man. I can't with y'all right now. It's having me crying. It's be some nights I've been in here with my cheroot tray and my wine, and I be spitting out or trying not to spit out wine, laughing at them.
Your boy Ron is just as bad as us. Ron going with us. Ron, don't make no mistake. Ron is going with us.
I'm like, I can't with y'all. I really can't. I was like,
Ron is a catalyst.
I be trying. That's why I be coming on camera, because I be off camera laughing at y'all so hard. And I will say this, you guys have gotten me through some rough days last year because it was so much going on. And I was in grad school, doing some grad school things last year. And there was some days where I was like, I don't even feel like it. But I would hear y'all would make me laugh. And I'm like, all right, I can pull through this because I needed that laugh, to relieve the stress. So I want to say thank you. I don't care. I know I be telling y'all going on a package, but y'all actually be making my week.
We appreciate it. We definitely try. But we finna get up out of here. But before we do, tell the people where they can get in contact with you at.
You guys can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, and I'm also on Facebook. All of my information to contact me is usually in all of those in my bio and on all three of those platforms. I'm also on Fanbase. And I will tell you right now, I am very selective about my work and how Erykah Badu, I'm sensitive about my ish. So I am very careful as to whom and what I work with and who I will connect with on a professional level. As long as you are a professional, you pay well, and you're not putting me and others in danger, I will collaborate with you.
Okay.
If not, I will be rejecting it.
We working on some clothing options. So maybe you go ahead. We can do a collab.
Hey, I'm all in.
All right, definitely. Y'all stay tuned. Hashtag still not canceled. As always, I'm your local hero, reminding you to blow your smoke like a goddamn gentleman and gentlewoman. And we out, y'all.
Peace.
Later.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me